Hi there, it's Nin from Nin Designs, co-author of Keswick Arts and Crafts, and today I'm going to show you my absolute favorite cast-on in the whole world. I use this all the time for when I do ribbing. It's a variation of the Italian tubular cast-on. A Scottish designer named Isolde Teague actually developed this, and she has a beautiful video of how to do it over on her site at ysolda.com, and you can certainly go take a look, but I thought I'd give it a shot and make a video of it for people who are doing my designs and show them how I do it. Okay, so first things first, you need to have a tail yarn and a ball yarn, okay? And how much of a tail yarn do you need? Very good question. What I normally do, say if I'm going to cast on 50 stitches, I would take my needle and my yarn and I would simply wrap it around my needle, say 25 times. And then I would undo it, and then I would have this lovely length of yarn that would be the length of how many stitches, 25, how much yarn 25 stitches would use up. And that would be my measuring tool to help me figure it out. But for this purpose today, I'm just going to take just a random amount of tail yarn. I'm going to make a slip knot. Go. And this slip knot, it will count as our first stitch. We just use one needle for this. Now this is the setup. My tail yarn goes over my thumb. So T is for tail, T is for thumb. Then my ball yarn right here goes over my index. So now with these last 3 fingers on this hand, my dog is sniffing me, I just simply grab the ends of those so it looks sort of like I got a slingshot going here. And now, the fun part, we're going to start the stitches. So to start off, I usually just hold on to that slip knot so it doesn't go flying off my needle end, but we're going to do a knit. So Zora, oh sweetheart, sweetie, Mama sees you, dear. Just 1 second. Okay, so we're going to start with a knit. So what we do is we go with our needle point. We get over the thumb yarn, and then we go over the index finger yarn and come up. And now, do you see how that makes sort of like a knit stitch there? Alright, so next we need to do the purl. Same swooping actions. So this time we're going to go over and under the index yarn, come around, go over and under the thumb yarn, and snug it up. And do you see how the index yarn makes like a little bar across that stitch? That would be my purl. It's kind of reminiscent of a purl bump. So that's what you've got. So you have a knit and a purl now. So let's do another knit. There we go. And now we're going to do another purl. So it goes like that. Okay. So we'll do another knit and go over the thumb yarn, swoop under, and then come over the index yarn and come up. And there we go. And then for purl, go over and under the index, over and under the thumb, and there's our purl. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay. So, next step. We flip it around. And now we need to knit. Now here's my tail. We don't want to use the tail. We want to use our ball yarn. I'm just going to get my other needle. I have a super long cable needle here. Okay, so the first stitch, see how the tail is wrapped around like a purl? Okay, so that first stitch we're going to slip. In fact, all purl stitches, we simply slip purlwise. Okay, and we're going to bring our yarn to the front. Oops, sorry. Now we're going to knit into the back of the knit stitch. As you can see that it's kind of it's kind of backwards, oriented backwards. So we're going to knit through the back of that stitch to reorient it. There we go. Let's bring our yarn to the front. Slip the purl purlwise with yarn in the front, yarn to the back, knit the knit stitch through the back of the loop, swing yarn in front, slip the purlwise, and then yarn to the back and knit the knit stitch slip the purl stitch purlwise without actually purling it, you're just slipping it, and then you're going to knit through the back of the loop the knit stitch, and so forth. Go. Okay, that was the first of the setup rows. Now comes the second part of the setup row. There's 2 setup rows. Okay, now as you can see, looks so far so good, but we're still going to do what we did before. We're going to slip the purls. So insert your needle purlwise and simply just slip that purl right off. Yarn to the back. I'm getting all caught up here. Yarn to the back, and now we're going to knit our knit stitch the way we normally knit. Okay, here we go. Slip our purls purlwise, knit, slip the purl, knit, slip the purl, knit, and we're just knitting normally, not through the back of the loop. Slip the purl, knit, slip the purl, and knit. Great. And you can see how it is forming a really lovely edge. Isn't that nice? It's very stretchy, and it just sort of flows right over the needles. Makes a very professional looking ribbed edge. Now, say we want to do a 2x2 edge or a ribbon. Okay, well, we need to set it up. So on this row, this would be our normal row where we would knit and purl as usual, but we need to reorient the stitches. So the first stitch I'm going to purl. There we go. And I'm going to knit my knit. But now I've got a purl, but I want to have it as a knit there. So I'm just going to simply, it's like a right twist. I take my needle, come up, skip the purl, insert it knitwise through that knit stitch behind the purl, and I knit it. There. And now I'm going to wrap my yarn around to purl that skipped purl stitch. Kind of gets a little finicky, but there. Ta-da! Purl, 2 knits, and a purl. Okay, and I purl the next stitch, knit my next stitch, and now there's a purl and there's a knit. So I want to change those 2 positions. I'm just going to simply insert my needle into the knit stitch as the knit, which I do. And now I'm going to wrap my yarn around to purl that skipped purl, like doing a right cross. I purl it, and then I pull the 2 stitches off the needle, and there we go. And there's the 2 knit stitches sitting together with the purl, waiting to have his purl buddy put next to him. Knit, and one more time. Insert, skip the purl, insert your needle knitwise up through the knit stitch and knit it. Move your yarn to the front, and now just simply purl that purl stitch that we skipped over. There we go. And now we take the 2 stitches off the needle. There. And now I've got my knit purl, or my 2x2 ribbing set up. Okay? Isn't that lovely? So again, this is Nin from Nin Designs, co-author of Keswick Arts and Crafts, and saying good night and give it a try.